Mhm. Well, it's time to rise and shine this morning, people. It's time to get out of bed because it is another day, one more, that you're on top of the ground and the ground's not on top of you. I'd say that's a lot to be thankful for this morning. It is the ninth day of July, believe it or not, 2025. Time to rise and shine. You're wasting daylight. You're wasting daylight. You ought to be up doing something right about now. As a matter of fact. Visualize may say whatever we do in life, we should do it so well. No man living, no man dead, no man yet to be born can do it any better. And I say if that is the standard by which you live your life, you'll always be successful. Because you're never a failure until you quit. We say give out if you must, rest if you can, but you never quit. You never give up, because quitters never win. And winners, oh, they may lose every once in a while. But they don't quit. They don't give up. My mother said, nothing beats a failure but a try. One foot in front of the other. So get up, let's get to moving. And whatever you do, don't ever give up. Again, all right? I'm just telling you. Next up, and of course, it is our daily bread. And then we'll get this party started. So don't you guys go any place, because I plan to be back. So hang loose. We'll be right back.
God loved us first so we can love others.
Our Daily Bread.
Today's encouragement from the Our Daily Bread devotional was written by Kirsten Holmberg. Kirsten writes, "We worked patiently to help our son heal and adjust to his new life with our family. Trauma from his early days in an orphanage was fueling some negative behaviors. While I had enormous compassion for the hardships he experienced in his early days, I felt myself begin to withdraw from him emotionally because of these behaviors. Ashamed, I shared my struggle with his therapist. Her gentle reply hit home. He needs you to go first, to show him he's worthy of love before he'll be able to act like it." Kirsten continues, John pushes the recipients of his letter to an incredible depth of love, citing God's love as both the source and the reason for loving one another. I admit I often fail to show such love to others, whether strangers, friends, or my own children. Yet John's words spark in me renewed desire and ability to do so. God went first. He sent his Son to demonstrate the fullness of his love for each of us. I'm so thankful he doesn't respond as we all are prone to do, by withdrawing his heart from us. Though our sinful actions don't invite God's love, he is unwavering in offering it to us. His go-first love compels us to love one another in response to and as a reflection of that love.
Today's Our Daily Bread devotional scripture reading is from 1 John chapter 4, verses 7 through 21. Dear friends, let us love one another, for love comes from God. Everyone who loves has been born of God and knows God. Whoever does not love does not know God, because God is love. This is how God showed his love among us. He sent his one and only Son into the world that we might live through him. This is love, not that we loved God, but that he loved us and sent his Son as an atoning sacrifice for our sins. Dear friends, since God so loved us, we also ought to love one another. No one has ever seen God, but if we love one another, God lives in us, and his love is made complete in us. This is how we know that we live in him and he in us. He has given us of his Spirit, and we have seen and testified that the Father has sent his Son to be the Savior of the world. If anyone acknowledges that Jesus is the Son of God, God lives in them and they in God. And so we know and rely on the love God has for us. God is love. Whoever lives in love lives in God and God in them. This is how love is made complete among us, so that we will have confidence on the day of judgment. In this world, we are like Jesus. There is no fear in love, but perfect love drives out fear, because fear has to do with punishment. The one who fears is not made perfect in love. We love because he first loved us. Whoever claims to love God yet hates a brother or sister is a liar. For whoever does not love their brother and sister whom they have seen cannot love God whom they have not seen. And he has given us this command: anyone who loves God must also love their brother and sister. That's today's scripture reading from 1 John chapter 4, verses 7 through 21.
Dear Heavenly Father, thank you for loving us in spite of the sin that we commit. Help us to go first in loving others and to use your example and serve them with a pure heart. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen. Today's encouragement was provided by Our Daily Bread Ministries.
And we are back again. Good morning to you. I think I'm going to do this at 9 o'clock now. This getting up early thing is kind of grating on my nerves. It's like a job. Anyway, good morning, everybody. Hope your day finds you well. Let's look at the forecast for today, and we can get this party started. Today is a high of 93 degrees. Right now, go outside. It feels like 80, but it's only 78 degrees outside this morning. So it's not as bad as it could be. It is, it's a little bit of, it's tough. It's warm. Tomorrow it's going to be pretty much the same as we go. Again, a 16% chance of precipitation this morning. Partly cloudy, a stray shower too. Thunderstorms possible, high around 93 degrees. Again, winds at 5 to 10 miles per hour. Tonight, 24% chance of precipitation and a stray shower or so. Thunderstorm is possible early, partly cloudy, low 73 degrees, winds light and variable. On tomorrow, 24% chance of precipitation. I guess that means rain, hopefully. Partly cloudy, a stray shower or two, but thunderstorm is possible. High near 90, winds about west to southwest at 5 to 10 miles per hour. Precipitation today, again, is about 24% chance of rain, slightly or shower here or two. Pollen, not that I ever think about it, is moderate. Air quality is moderate. The UV index is high. That's because the sun's out. And every time the sun comes out, there's a chance of UV, something, right? Yeah, I feel you on that. Okay, then. Is that enough? Now, for this day, the high today has ever been is 95 degrees. Okay. The average is 94. The record high for this day is 104 degrees. Record low for this day is, believe it or not, is 63 degrees. Average again is 72, and the lowest is around 73. Okay, so that's your weather for today. It is, just in case you want to know, it is 7:14 in the morning. Yeah, pretty nice. Now this guy says astronomically it's like 4:07 in the morning. I don't know exactly what that means, but it was on the notes, so I'm just gonna read it to you. Okay, I don't know what astronomical twilight is. Yeah, I ain't got a clue. I just don't have a clue what that means, but that's okay. We're gonna report it anyway because I don't know what that means. Anyway, good morning to you. Okay, so starting next week on this, okay, we're gonna do this at about 8 o'clock, 8 to 10. This is too early for me. It messed with my sleep. It's like a job. Okay then, but I'm thinking, who's up this time of morning? I'm just like, who is up this time of morning? I mean, a couple people are up this time of morning. That's good, but yeah, I think I'm going to do this in the yeah, we're gonna do this in at 8 o'clock, not 7. Because at 8 o'clock, I mean, I'm all slap out. I'm ready to go to work. Okay, so and this is like my job. It's my job until I find a job. I'm looking for a job, but sometimes it's difficult to maneuver the world. But good morning, good morning, good morning, and good morning again. You've been up since. What in the world were you doing up at 5 o'clock in the morning? We are of an age now where we shouldn't have to get up at 5 o'clock in the morning. Zarel's got to get up at 5 o'clock in the morning. He's in the Army, at least training for the time being. But we, you know what? We old school. We shouldn't have to get up at 5 o'clock in the morning. Okay, I'm just saying we don't want to do that. Anyway, good morning to now. Now since school is starting back next month. Finally, here's some good news about what's happening in Alabama schools. Okay, now I don't know who on the Alabama school board ever thought that putting cell phones in the class, giving kids access to cell phones in the classroom was a great idea. I mean, whoever did that needs to be voted off the board. Okay, but however, like Sam Cooke says, a change gonna come. Okay. And as a matter of fact, starting this year, Alabama students in public school, K through 12, not K through 6, not K through 12 schools, won't be allowed to use cell phones or other wireless devices during the instructional day under a new law passed in May. We got enough problems with maintaining the attention of kids as it is. And we want to add something to that process, okay, like a cell phone. What fool thought that was a good idea? I mean, seriously? Okay, we can barely get people to read now, but they are able to read. They are able to read text messages. So at least we teaching them to read a little bit. Anyway, the word came out yesterday. Can Alabama parents face jail time under the new Focus Act if kids break the cell phone ban? No, they take the cell phone from them. And if they don't surrender the cell phone, in my mind, you send them home until their parents come back with you. Okay, so starting this year, and you got to make sure you tell your kids this. Alabama school students from K through 12 schools won't be allowed to use cell phones or other wireless devices during the instructional day under the new law passed in May. It is called the Focus Act, FOCUS, Focus Act, or HB House Bill 166. It aims to reduce classroom distractions. It probably won't help very much, but okay. By requiring students to turn off their devices and store them in lockers, cars, or school issued pouches. Well, the school issued pouch to me is not a guarantee that they won't use it, but that's okay. And here's the one thing that we are doing today that really doesn't make sense. It is not the teacher's job to come up with all kinds of things to make sure that you don't do that which you're not supposed to do. The teacher says it, you do it, or you get sent home. That's just it. We shouldn't have to come up with pouches here or a case there, a glass box so you can see your phone, but you can't use it. You know what I'm saying? No, 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 no. The teacher said, the school principal says, and if we ever get some principals in schools that have a set on them, male or female, then you don't have to do that. You don't got to provide pouches for them. You leave the thing at home. Now, if you're in the 12th grade, now I will say one thing. If you're in the 12th grade and you don't have the discipline by now to put your phone up, okay? Because I'm all for if you're on lunch, you know what I'm saying? Use your phone, whatever. If you're on lunch, okay. If you're in the 12th grade, I'm all for that. But if you are disobedient, disrespectful in the 12th grade, then they got a room for you out in Elmore County because you're headed there. You just headed there. You can't help it. But anyway, getting back to this. Districts across the state are now rolling out discipline policy. Whoa, oh Lord, somebody done hurt me after all these years. In at least one case, parents could be held legally responsible if their child does not comply. That's what I'm talking about. Okay. Okay. I'm just saying that it's about time. The pendulum doesn't necessarily swing fast, but it does swing because life has a way of teaching us things sometimes even when we don't want to learn them. Okay. So again, districts across the state are now rolling out discipline policies. And in at least one case, parents can be held legally responsible if their child don't comply. That means you get the child and the parent in court, okay? And you bring them down in front of that office down there, and you listen. If you can't make him do what he's supposed to do, how am I supposed to make him do what he's supposed to do? So what we're going to do, we're going to fix both of our problems. I'm going to send your child home with you until you guys decide that's what you want to do. In Gaston City schools, following guidelines has banned more than just cell phones. Under the new guidelines, students are prohibited from using smartwatches, tablets, AirPods, gaming devices. They use all that in the classroom? Or any other device that can send voice or text messages during school hours. That includes, before and after school, lunch, and PE, unless they receive special permission. So in other words, the schools in Gaston saying we just don't want them. Okay. And when you on your way to school, use it. On your way home, use it. But you don't need it in the classroom. And Father, you guys know that we did make it through school with some pretty smart folks. We did do that with some pretty smart folks before we had cell phones. Everybody knows that, right? Okay, that's what I'm thinking. Everybody knows we can make it. We got smart people. We came up with all kinds of. We came up with the atom bomb. We came up with we learned how to do computers in the 80s. We came up with a lot of things before there were phones in the class. As a matter of fact, we probably came up with those things because there were no phones in the classroom, and people had their big brain and had to think what to do with it. Okay. On the fourth offense, it is not just the student who faces punishment. The school board says parents or guardians will be referred to the district attorney's office. I don't have a problem with that. Again, if you can't manage your own child, then my Lord, how is the school supposed to be able to do that too? How's that gonna happen? How are you gonna do that? You can't do that. No, you can't. No, you can't do that. So I'm glad. So they're listening to me. Okay, so I'm making an impact here. Okay, I'm making an impact. Although We need to use that same procedure in every action of every child in every school. Okay, parents ought to be brought into school. I mean, enough of this. Kids running school. I've been watching this movie lately called The Substitute. Man, if I ever seen a school like that, I mean, they run around, they disrespect the teacher, they don't do all these kinds of things. And I bet there are some schools, especially in New York, where everybody's got ADHD or DDHD or something like that. We have given our kids so many illnesses, okay, until they don't have to get well. I mean, we have given them so many illnesses, so many things that they just can't do. So I'm just telling you, something's wrong with this. Okay, now is everybody out there glad like I am for this? Okay, if you want to call me, you can. I mean, I don't know if you're up and about and you don't have anything to do, so that's good because school is starting next month. Okay, so school now. Fortunately, I'm fortunate. I don't ever have to deal with school anymore. If Z decides to go to college, I don't have to deal with that. Because the nice thing about college don't care if you show up or not. You give them the check. They provide you with the instructors. You don't show up, that's on you. The guy's not going to lose any sleep whatsoever if you don't show up for his class. Matter of fact, he'll probably be thankful that you didn't. Okay. Anyway, the Focus Act is not just about distractions. It is about safety. The Focus Act goes beyond limiting cell phone use. It also addresses online safety. Now, I will tell you, I was went to court one day and they told me I had to take off my watch. Now I was ticked. I said, why am I going to take off my watch? But then I found out that I really didn't know. Then I found out that people are using watches to they're using watches to communicate with other students. As a matter of fact, in Montgomery, there was a case downtown where somebody came out of the courthouse, came out of the courtroom, and they were attacked outside because somebody was in there with a watch, sending messages to other gang members or whatever the case may be. And they got outside the courtroom and they was held to pay. So as long as it makes sense, I'm all for it. Make it make sense, I'm all for it. You don't have to. Okay, it makes sense now. Now I understand because some people use technology to the detriment of everybody. Okay, so I'm good with that. Okay. Now, Montgomery and Tuscaloosa schools, okay, they are supposed to lock up phones using the Yonder pouches. Now, let me tell you something about them Yonder pouches. Okay, there's these little pouches that they let you put your phone in, right? My son said, all you got to do is take it out of it. All you got to do is take it out of it. You can unlock it. Okay, so so all they're doing is trying to be politically correct, but somebody's still gonna get in trouble because a Yonder pouch. What the hell does that mean? Yonder. What should be here is that phone should be way up yonder. Okay, it should be someplace where you can get to it. Okay, so and I don't have a picture of the Yonder pouch, but I'll find it for you here. But anyway, my son says that they just take the Yonder pouches, open them up, and use the phone. Okay, so that's Montgomery. Again, Montgomery has always got to be politically correct when nobody else is. If it says no phones, it's no phones. Leave the phone at home. Now, let me tell you what I did with Emmanuel. Okay, back in the day when they had the MP3 players came out, right? They had the MP3 players came out, and my son Emmanuel would want to take one to school. I said, well, don't take it to school because all it's going to do is distract you. Well, he thought he was smarter than I was. And it turned out that he probably was. But he took his thing to school. And what I did was, and then guess what I did? Guess what happened that day? They did a contraband check. All right. And guess who got a call on the telephone? Me, from Dr. Parham. Parms. I think his name is Parms. He had him in the office with him. And I said, well, this is what you got to do. You see that piece of wood right there you got behind your desk? Yeah, you need to pull that out and we need to use it. Okay, because I told him not to bring it to school, and he brought it to school. And sometimes, oh man, you should have saw this. They had mothers up there who were well, that's my phone. You know how Shamika do, right? That's my phone. And I bought that phone, and you ain't got no business with that phone. So give me my phone back. So I looked at Mr. Parms. I said, why don't you just send them both home? I mean, if they don't want to go by the rules, send them both home. Okay. But anyway, getting back to Emmanuel. Emmanuel took the phone, took the MP3 player home to school. I said, okay. So I had Mr. Parms put the wood on him, right there in his office. And I held him down so Mr. Parms could put that piece of wood on that butt of his. Okay. Because in the lesson I was teaching him, just because somebody else doesn't get caught and they did it doesn't make you right. Okay, and that was the lesson. And guess what? He never took it back to school, which was the whole point of the whole exercise. Anyway, do what you're told to do. Move right along. So Montgomery and Tuscaloosa schools want to lock up phones using the Yonder pouches, which is a waste of time. In Montgomery, students are already required to lock away their phones each morning. Unfortunately, though, I know that those phones don't get locked up. The city school board has an approved contract with Yonder, a company that provides magnetic pouches to store phones during the day securely, except they don't tell you that your kids have figured out how to unlock them. Under the policy, students will place their devices in a pouch that locks until the end of the day. Anyone who doesn't comply will face disciplinary actions. Okay, according to the Montgomery Public Schools current code of conduct, as of June 2025, MPS is seeking information to verify that using Yonder aligns with the new law. Okay, I don't think it does, but Montgomery don't. For some reason, they're allergic to discipline in Montgomery Public Schools. They're just not the kids, but the board seems to be allergic to discipline in public schools. They just don't like it. They got a problem. I guess they don't want Bubba and Leroy and Sally Ann and Shamika coming up to the school raising hell. Well, I say bring them on. Anyway, Tuscaloosa schools are also rolling out Yonder pouches. That's a way. See, when you give them a Yonder pouch, that's a way to let them keep their telephone, but say that, to say that. Now, according to the rules here, it has a magnetic swipe, magnetic thing on it, which can't be undone according to them. And you have to rub it against a special magnet at the designated areas, like the main exits. In other words, before you can use it. We'll see. My son said they had that this year, and people figure out how to open them. If it can't, listen. If it can be figured, and this is why I think students, we do them a disservice by not expecting more of them, because these kids are smart. They're not smarter than we are. They just have access to more information than we did at their age coming up. So they're not these brilliant people. I mean, anybody can figure out how to do wrong, but they do. They figure out how to undo what you do. So students who attempt to use devices during the day risk having them confiscated, losing privileges, or facing other penalties. School officials said, which is good. So at least we are on the right track. At least we're on the right track. Okay. And some prayers and condolences go out to a Montgomery woman that was killed, and 3 children, of course, were injured in a single vehicle crash. This happened on Sunday on Interstate 85. The crash that occurred about 3:33 p.m. on July the 6th took the life of Love T. Dixon, only 23 years old. And Captain Jerry Burkett, spoken for the law enforcement agency, said she was fatally injured when her 2003 Chevrolet Tahoe she was passenger in left the roadway and struck a guardrail before overturning and landing back on the road, she said. Dixon, who was not using a seatbelt at the time of the crash, was ejected and pronounced dead at the scene. Unfortunately, our prayers go out to her and her family, and that's a shame. I know people got this thing about seatbelts, but I won't drive without one. And it doesn't mean nothing will happen to you because you got on a seatbelt. but you won't get ejected from the car. I'm still trying to figure out how that happens, but it does happen because I've seen it. So wear your seatbelt, ladies and gentlemen. Wear your seatbelt. Okay. If nothing else, it is just um, a secondary device that will attempt to see that no harm or little harm comes to you. Okay, that goes to Pastor Willie Knight, who the other day I saw on the show didn't have his seatbelt on. Okay, I'm just saying we might want to wear those seatbelts because it's an important thing. Okay, move right along now, ladies and gentlemen. As we saw the other day, the mayor said crime was down. And I'm trying to work with him on this. I'm trying to work with him on, okay, maybe it is. Maybe the crime is only in our neighborhood. I'm trying to work with him. Well, in the last few days, maybe the criminals heard that crime was down and they wanted to make sure that we had something to talk about. So yesterday, 2 people shot, 1 critical. Day before that, somebody else was shot. So I'm trying to figure out, where do these numbers come from that they keep telling us that crime is down? I'm just want to know where it's coming from. Now, and here's another thing. Listen, now if anybody who disagrees, please call me and tell me why. We hire people, right? We hire people. Civilians are the only leaders that when they fail to get something under control, they go back to the parents. Now, in the Army, in the military, anybody who's ever served you don't get to call mom and daddy and say your son's messing up. Okay, no. You don't get to do that. Okay, we handle that. We handle that. We got something called a stockade. Or we make you move with mounds of dirt from one side of the street to the other side of the street. I mean, we get your attention. But if in fact, um, crime is down, like the mayor, I mean, he gave this great big presser the other day, which and listen, I try to support the mayor every way I can, but don't pee in my face and tell me it's raining. Okay, I don't know where these people, where these numbers they get come from. Where do they come from? And every time they come on the air and talk about crime is down, crime seems to go up. So somebody tell me where. Now, let me digress. The city of Montgomery has we used to have a commissioner form of government, like the county commission, city commission, but we don't anymore. Then came the mayor city council type of system. We got 9 city councilmen. We have 1 mayor. We are a city that the power lies within the city council. Okay, with the mayor suggesting carrying out the day-to-day operations of the city under his tutelage. So but every time we talk about this thing called crime or any other negative type of going on, we say, well, the mayor's not responsible for crime, which I agree. The city council is not responsible for crime. I agree. But let me tell you what they are responsible for. They're 100% totally, the mayor and the city council, 100% totally responsible for how they respond to it. Absolutely. 100%, 1000% responsible for how they respond to it. Okay. And I did an experiment one day. Z, when he was little, he was jumping up and down on the couch. And I looked at him because he was jumping. First of all, I didn't want him to fall off the couch, but as a kid, you everybody likes to jump up and down, right? So he jumped up and down on the couch, and so I looked at him, and he just kept on jumping. He stopped for a second because he was waiting for me to say something, but I didn't say anything. And he kept on going, and he kept on going, and he kept on going. And guess what he did? He fell off the couch. Okay, so what did I do wrong? Which is what the mayor does wrong, and what it seems like our government does. What did I do wrong? I should have nipped it in the bud when he was jumping on the couch, because children would go as far as you allow them to go. Okay, crooks would go as far as they may do things sometimes just to see if they can get away with it. Okay, just see if they can get away with it. So while the city council is not, and the mayor is not personally for the crime, they are 100% responsible of how they respond to the criminal atmosphere in this city, how they respond to it. Okay, they are absolutely responsible to the citizenry of this city and any other city. Washington, D.C., New York City. Giuliani had it right. When it got so bad in New York of doing things, he had the Friskins stop and frisk. And some people whine that it was messing with their constitutional rights and all that stuff. Well, guess what? It sure stopped a lot of the crime from going on in New York City. Okay. I don't think our founding fathers gave us a Bill of Rights and civil rights to do crime, to do harm to others. I think that was so we could secure the environment by which we live in. Okay. I mean, I'm just thinking that. Does anybody disagree with that? Of course not. So, who is responsible? If the mayor and the city council are not responsible for the things that go on, they're responsible to act on the things that go on. They're not responsible for the happenings, but they're responsible how to act. And I'm beginning to think that maybe some of our city council people become transgender. Okay, I'm just thinking. Sometimes the women down there seem to have more gonads than the guys do. I mean, it just seemed to be that to me sometimes that. So and listen, nothing wrong with it. If that's your thing, that's your thing. You want to be transgender, that's up to you. But if you decide that's what you want to do, we good. But when we hired you, we put a man down there, and we want you to act like a man. Women and men don't act the same. So we need to put up a tough stance in this city about this crime. We don't forget being nice. Okay. Somebody told me in Prattville and Millbrook and all these places, when you do these things, you just go to jail. You go to jail, and then until you can see the judge, and he'll give you some bond or whatever the case may be. We need to start taking some of these people to jail. We just do. Okay. We got a problem in this city. 2 shot, 1 critical, and this was yesterday, July the 8th, the day the 9th, right? Yeah, yesterday. Okay. All right. 2 people are hospitalized after back-to-back shootings in 2 separate spots off the same road. Okay. MPD and paramedics responded to the 5,000 block of Paddock Club Court, wherever that is, at the Paddock Club Apartments, wherever that is, located off Bell Road, on reports of a person shot shortly before 2:45 p.m. See, they don't even wait till night to do it anymore. They do it in the afternoon. First responders found an unidentified woman suffering from a life-threatening gunshot wound and transported her, to an area hospital. About the same time, MPD responded to a second reported shooting at 2600 block off Bell Road, just 3 miles north of the first shooting. Now, is there something in the water over there? There's something happening over there in time and space that we don't know about. Okay, there, an unidentified man was found suffering from non-life-threatening gunshot wounds and taken to the area medical facility. Okay, so I'm just telling you, they may not be responsible for. Here's another one. The other day, here's another one. The Montgomery Police Department responded to 2 separate shootings across the city within 24-hour span on July the 2nd and the 3rd. Okay. Officers responded to the shooting at the 2100 block of East South Boulevard. Okay, officers and firemen also responded to another shooting at 2:45 p.m. on July the 3rd in the 1300 block of Eastern Boulevard. Now, I'm not blaming the police and the mayor for any of this, but there is something going wrong in this city when nobody seems to be scared of shooting anybody. It's almost as if we have given permission, okay, to do it. Okay, look like you need a stand your ground procedure. Well, I don't know about that, but I do know one thing, Mayor. I mean, come on, you get on TV, tell us how low crime is, and it really isn't. Now I'm just trying. Now they say figures don't lie, but lies figure. I'm not calling anybody a lie. I'm not doing that. But there's just something. There's something in time and space in Montgomery that's going on. Yesterday, okay, the third and the second and the 3rd of July, and yesterday, 2 people get shot. One seriously, and those are just the ones we know about. Okay, those are just the ones we know about. We don't know about. Again, I'm not blaming the city council. I'm not blaming the mayor, but I am holding them responsible for the environment this city is. No, hell, nobody's scared of the police. I guess they figure we don't have enough to come see them anyway. I mean, nobody's scared. So the city council, and that's all 9 of them down there, they are responsible to us for their reaction to the environment by which persists in this city. Stop telling me that you can't do anything. You can't. We know that. We know you can't. It's hard enough to teach your own kids not do things. Not everybody else. I understand that. But you are responsible to us to react to those things. And it seemed like to me that all we get from you guys down there is, well, we can't do nothing about it. Then let's get somebody that can. Let's get somebody that can. And case in point, listen, I grew up in the military. Okay, from 17 to my 30s, that's where I was, and so I'm only used to that kind of lifestyle as an adult. And they just grew me up, and that's where it worked. If your company or your platoon, let's say the military made up a couple of things. You got companies, and companies are made up of about 4 or 5 platoons, right? So if you got a platoon in your company that can't seem to pass the PT test, you know what happens to that platoon? Okay, they get extra duty. They get extra work, and sometimes they get a new platoon leader. Or we get a squad leader. Okay, we got squads in there. And so it seemed like to me that we make excuses for rather than us make the squad better as part of the platoon. We don't do that. We make excuses for them. So all I know is that what you do is you get rid of the squad leader. Okay. You just get rid of it. You get rid of them. You get somebody. You put somebody there that can get it done. Now I know Mr. Gray Bowles and all these people. They listen. I guess they okay, but I also know that the mayor is somewhat he's somewhat sympathetic to a certain demographic in the city, and call it because of his upbringing and what his parents went through. And listen, my parents went through some stuff too. And, but call it that. But again, we've been telling people, if in fact it's a law against panhandling and it's on state roads in the city of Montgomery, we never arrest anybody. They still sit out there all day long, beg for money. Now, I believe in helping. Matter of fact, I didn't helped out this year already. I'm through helping. But we believe in helping people. I find myself sometimes when I'm going down the road and somebody looking all sad. Okay, the good Lord touched my heart. Okay, give him $1, give him a couple of dollars, give him a $5, whatever the case may be. But I'm not helping the situation when I do that, because he's going to go back and tell his buddy, "Hey, there's this guy that drives this Lexus. He always comes through here and he gives us money. So y'all just sat there long enough for the day and he'll come through." Okay, I'm just saying. So if you let people get away with the little crimes, the big crimes are not far off. And that's what we're saying. And so the mayor has to take the mayor of the city of Montgomery, who I like. Okay. But however, I think somebody needs to just call a spade a spade. Well, we can't use that word, the mayor. But we should call an issue an issue. Mayor Reed's got to get tougher. I'm just sorry. He has got to put a tougher veneer. He's got to put a tougher image out there, because because we ain't doing too good when it comes to crime in the city of Montgomery. We're just not. Okay, the mayor's got to be tougher, and the city council got to get some gravitas also, because they seem not to have the ability to be tough with the mayor. If the me talking about this don't mean anything, but when the city council, okay, when the city council, oh, I don't see really. That's the that again. That's the small crime. It is against the law to panhandle on state roads in the state of Alabama. The mayor does nothing about it because he won't do anything about it. Okay, so whether they shooting people or not, I can't say they shooting people or not, but I don't know. Okay, but I can tell you this much. I can tell you this much. If you don't, if you do not take care of the small things, people will go on to bigger and better things. You don't think the crook knows that the chance of him going to jail is not that great at the moment because we're short police officers? You don't think they know that? You don't really, you don't think that they listen to the news and talk shows and podcasts? You don't think they know that too? Of course they do. I'm not blaming people for paying, but it is against the law. Then why okay, let's go here. Why did the Steve Marshall the other day, last week, go around people's stores removing what he deemed drug paraphernalia by taking up things that you can smoke marijuana in? What? It wasn't doing anything to anybody. It was just sitting there, right? It was just sitting there in the people's store, and he went around like it was a grenade launcher and busting into people's stores and taking their merchandise. Okay, now why did he do that? Why did he do that? Well, more. Hmm. So tell me what we need to do. Okay, if you allow people to do the small things, they will turn around and do the big things. Okay, they will. They'll just do it. Okay, so it is not that. So he goes around taking people's um, merchandise from their stores. Wasn't nobody smoking dope in the store, but he took it because according to him, paraphernalia, and I guess it's against the law. Okay, well, panhandling is against the law. So why don't they put people on the road and get rid of panhandle? Because you know what? Because we're very sympathetic when it comes to criminals in this city. It seems it just seems that way to me. I don't know, but it seems that way to me. And again, I'm tired of hearing what you can't do. Tired of hearing what you can't do. Well, we can't do this and we can't do that. Well, tell me what you can do, city council people. Tell me what you can do. Okay. Because we know what you can't do, which is not a whole lot of anything. But it is a city council and the mayor who is responsible for the atmosphere and the attitude of the city. Okay. They are responsible for that. Let me put it to you this way. Does anybody think that if Emory Farmer was still the mayor of the city of Montgomery, that we would be having these kinds of things going on? Oh, we'd have a couple because he had someone he was in there too, but not as many as we had in the last few years. I mean, I got there in '91, and I think he was mayor until '99 when Bobby Bright took over. And Bobby Bright was kind of a kind of a wuss too sometimes. I mean, he wasn't very uh, tough either. I mean, you got to put forth. It's kind of it's kind of like being a parent. Your kids know when you teed off. Okay, they know. They walk very gently around you when you're teed off. I just need the mayor to get on TV and act teed off. Okay, act like you're mad that so many people are shooting each other. Then just act like you're mad. I mean, we got the we got the what's this thing downtown? We got what's this thing we got? It is a the lynching museum. And we making the city of Montgomery is getting a bunch of people coming to the city of Montgomery because of this lynching museum, because of misery of the past. And listen, Brian Stevenson did a wonderful job in constructing his project. Okay, wonderful job constructing his project. But we're so used to misery, to celebrating misery, making money off misery in this city. So it would seem like to me then, hey Brian or somebody, why don't we just put a monument up to all the young men and young ladies who are dying by the hand of other young men and young ladies in the city of Montgomery? Why don't we put one of those up? Okay, I mean, why don't we just do that? If nothing else, maybe we can make a little extra money off of it. Since we got the slave thing up downtown, which I'm not condoning what was done to those people. Of course not, it's not right. But it seemed like to me that they paid the price that so young people today and didn't have to pay. But maybe that's what's needed. Maybe we need to put a monument up of all the people and add daily names to it, or weekly. Wait till the end of the week. Well, add weekly to it because it's a shame and a disgrace. Again, I need somebody in city government and county government to get mad. I need somebody to be angry as I am about the senseless waste of life of young people. Okay, somebody needs to just get mad. Okay, like treat us like your kids. Show me that mean mug. Show me that anger in your voice, that anger in your gestures, because you're tired of it, like we are. Okay, and so if I got any problem with the mayor, see the mayor is suave. The mayor's cool. He I mean, I really like the guy, but I think he needs to get mad about this. Somebody needs to get. I mean, you get on TV the other day, tell us how crime is down. And within 24 hours, we got 2 people shot, almost died. I mean, and the day before that, on the 4th of July, this month alone, we've had a bunch of shootings already. So listen, I know you do that on TV because it makes us feel kind of good sometimes to think that it may be true. But I'm just telling you, from July the 2nd and July the 3rd, the other day, a bunch of shooting yesterday. I just, and again, the mayor's not responsible. Let me make sure I get this right. The mayor's not responsible for people shooting at each other. We got that. He's not responsible, but he is responsible of the atmosphere that it goes on in. Yeah, we are. And if y'all can't figure out, we are paying people $50,000, $55,000 a year to start to be a policeman. And if we can't figure out how to hire a policeman at $50,000 a year, and you don't even need a college degree, then there's something wrong with us. Okay, there's something wrong with your marketing plan. There's something wrong with us. 50 grand, and you don't even have to have a college degree. And we can't fill the slots that are available down there? Really? And it already takes, and it needs to be an ongoing thing too, because I think it takes about 15 weeks in order to become a police officer. So we need to have that place over there constantly filled with people who want to be policemen. So we can't figure that out. We can't go out on Maxwell Air Force Base. Let's go down to Fort Benning, Georgia. A lot of guys PCSing, or a lot of guys retiring down there who would love to come to Montgomery. Probably. I mean, go to a lot of military bases around here: Maxwell, Fort Benning, Fort Gordon, Georgia, Fort Savannah. I mean, there are places we can't figure out how to do that. Okay. Here's the deal. Here's how you do this. Here's how you get people to come up here and be a policeman. If they finish school, if they finish the training, and they get sworn in, we give them $10,000 sign-on bonus. Okay, that's got nothing to do with their regular salary. You give them $10,000 sign-on bonus. Okay, because if we can feed that elephant out at the park, I don't know how much that elephant eats out there at the zoo, but I don't want to be walking behind him when he drops his load. I'm just telling you, because that's someone going to eat some food out there. Okay, our salary, our budget to feed the elephant out there is probably more than it's probably a lot. Okay, I don't know how much elephants eat, but I know there's a guy whose main job is to go out there and pick up the leftovers from the elephant. I'm just telling you, we can do it. You give people $10,000 extra as a sign-on bonus for finishing the school, and tell them, yeah, but if you in fact, okay, you have to give us at least 1 year on the police force, or else you got to pay us the money back. Okay, 10 grand for finishing school. I wish I got 10 grand finishing basic training. I went through twice. I mean, that's a lot of change to do that. So anyway, so there's got to be somebody out there right now saying, I need a job. I'm in high school. I don't really know what to do. I just got out of the military. I don't have a clue what I want to do. I know I got to do something. So somebody wants that job. It is your job to find out who that is. Okay, I'm just saying. There's got to be a way. How can you not get people to work for $50,000 a year, unless there's some systemic, like using that word, right? They like using that word systemic, right? Unless there's some systemic issues that are not been brought to the public. $50,000, over $50,000 to start a job with no college degree. And you telling me that we can't feel that? Trust me, if I'm a little younger right now, I'd go down there and put in for the police department. I like wearing uniforms anyway. So anyway, all right, I got to take my little pause for the calls here, but we'll be back in a little bit here with the continuation of this, because we need an answer to the question. And the question is, how do we change the atmosphere in Montgomery so we can actually don't have to walk? We can actually, the chances of getting shot riding down the street in your car and becoming paralyzed, the chances of your young people getting shot in their homes when they're laying home in bed, the chances of business owners getting robbed at their own business, and there's more. How do we change the atmosphere in this city? And I think it starts at the top. It starts with an attitude of, shall we say, no tolerance, zero tolerance. And I know we got a constitution. I'm cool with the Constitution. I don't want to deny people constitutional rights or anything like that. But Mayor, you got to get mad. City council people, you got to get mad. We're getting tired of hearing about this. If not, there's an election next year, and listen, we love you. But if you can't come up with a solution, then maybe you need to be replaced. We're back. All righty then. The time on the wall says it's 8:05 in the morning. So anybody would anybody be against would anybody be against giving our policemen a a $10,000 sign on bonus if they were I don't I think that could work. I really do. I think that could work. Okay. I think they could work if you because you cannot tell me that $50,000 is not enough money to get people to join the police department. Okay. I don't want anyone less than 21 years old having access to a firearm daily. Minimum age for a police officer, well, it is to carry a gun. But if you in fact though bring them on at 19 or 18, they can be cadets. They can learn the ropes while they're doing it. Because I'm trying to talk my son into doing it. Uh, so you don't have to carry a gun, but you will be prepared to carry a weapon. If you come on at 20, 19, you'll be prepared to come right at work rather than there needs to be like it's like kind of like the NFL and the NBA. College is the place is their farm teams. Okay, that's where they get their people from. Okay, okay, less than 21 enrolled in cadet program, and provided years served towards retirement. Yeah, so I think that's what we need to do. We need to but I can't and I think they end up $36,000 as a cadet. So it's not bad money. So why is it that Montgomery can't seem to get people and it has to be systemically something wrong, and people heard about somebody that heard about something or whatever the case may be, and is it leadership? I don't know. But I do know the mayor is in charge of that police department, and of course his police chief answers to him. Wait a minute. The police chief answers to some other guy. I hear so little about him. I don't know. I forgot what his name is. Um, but you got a police chief, then you got another guy that the police chief got to answer to, and this guy answered to the mayor. Maybe we got too many people in the chain of command. We got all these people we got to answer to. Graybo's answers to somebody, but outside of the mayor. Now, I understand delegation of authority. I have no problem with that. But there's some things that the first sergeant need to get involved in. Okay, first sergeant need to get involved. The CO need to get involved in. You can't delegate all your responsibility. Okay, you can't delegate it all. Okay, but anyway, so there's got to be a way that we can get more policemen. And I take a 10. You finish the school, you get $10,000 uh, as a sign-on bonus if you finish the school. But if you get that sign-on bonus, you got to stay with us at least 18 months. Okay, before you can go any place. If you do, you have to pay back the money. Okay, I mean that's good. And $10,000 sign-on bonus um, would get these people a place. They can if they need a place to stay, they got a little change to put in their pocket. They'll get a place to stay, and plus they'll be getting their salary also. So I'm saying, I think it's a pretty good idea. Let me put it this way, right now. I don't know if I could push that car though. I was looking at some of the police tests the other day. I can't lie and act like I'm 21 because I'm not. Um, I can still run a little bit though, but I don't want to have to push that big old car going up all them steps. Ugh. But it would get you in shape. So anybody else got any ideas? The numbers here, just in case I haven't even told nobody the numbers. If you want to call in, you can. The numbers on the machine, 521-2963 is the number here if you want to, if you got something on your mind. So Daryl, I hear you, brother. I hear you. Right. Years served towards retirement. Yeah. Yeah. So and I'm trying to get when my son gets down into reserve training, and he's just outside. Of course, he's only not he'll be 19, but he can be a cadet for the sheriff department, the police, whatever. Somebody, and then when it's time to put on the to wear the pistol. Of course, he's down there shooting now, shooting his rifles, stuff like that. So he knows about. Personally, I think if you've been in the military, you've been trained how to use a gun, stuff like that. I think you ought to be able to do it at 20. But that's just me. I mean, we do have a military that we train people how to shoot weapons and things of that nature. So I ain't mad at him, but I think we need to do that. Anyway, so that's enough of that. Also, Mac Gibson. Anybody remember Mac? Mac was the state representative from Prattville. As a matter of fact, I think he was the owner of Gibson Tires in Prattville. He's passed on, and the governor has decided to lower all the flags for the late state legislator Mac Gibson. Our prayers go out to his family and to his loved ones. Okay. I had an opportunity to talk to Mac at least a couple of times, not very many times, but a couple of times. In this business I'm in, I've been able to talk to a little bit of everybody. And everybody's been talked a little bit about me. They don't say nice things either sometimes, but that's okay. I can live with it. It goes with the job. That's just one of those things. Okay. Again, the numbers here, just in case you want to give a call and something on your mind, you can do that. Listen, I want to hear. Do you guys not believe that the mayor and the city council are responsible for the atmosphere in the city of Montgomery? Because if you believe that, then why are we hiring? I mean, seriously, if you believe that, then why did we hire them? Why are we paying them money to show up for work every 2 weeks? I mean, why are we doing it? Okay, I'm not saying they're responsible for what's going on, but they are responsible. Okay, they are responsible. Okay, for how they react to what goes on in the city. They are responsible for that. But if we don't hold them responsible, all they got to say, well, nothing we can do about that. We can't put a policeman on every street. You know what? I'm putting it to you this way. Sharks are little bitty animals. They're little fish. Well, they're kind of big fish, but not that big. They're not big as a whale. And just the thought of a shark swimming around in the ocean makes people not mess with the ocean too much. Okay. Well, where are our sharks at? Okay. Where are the sharks of Montgomery on the police department, in city government? Where are the people that put forth an image of control and an image of discipline and an image of no BS taken today? Where is that? We got to stop this political correctness. And I mean, I know the mayor suspended the guy one time for cussing out a crook. He got suspended. I said, really? We suspend the guy, a policeman, because he cuts out a crook? Really? We did. We did. I said, well, now, to be fair, that's the part that the guy told me, but I believe him. I don't have any problem. I don't have any reason not to believe him. Okay. There's just something. I mean, where's our shark? Nobody come. I mean, where's Telly Savalas when you need him? No, nobody wanted to mess with Telly Savalas. Okay. On Kojak. We don't have a Kojak in this town or anybody like that the criminals fear. I mean, really? Come on, man. Am I too old to be a policeman? I think I'll go down there. Okay. I may do it. I may have to go down there and see if I can pass the test. Okay. I don't mind the physicalness of it, but they may kill me. Okay. I just don't know. Now he says some people, best of date, no one really wants to live in Montgomery as a young person or professional. That's why military people turn down assignments. Well, now I don't know if military people are actually turning down the assignment. Listen, I'm here. I like it here. And listen, I'm a man, Kojak, who loves you, baby. That's right, bro. I mean, I lived in Honolulu, Hawaii. So even Honolulu had crime in it. I lived in the island of paradise, and I love Montgomery a hell of a lot better than I do Waikiki and Honolulu and Wahiawa and Pearl City and places like that where I lived. I like it over here better. Okay. but everybody wants to come to a place where there is order. Okay, if all I'm hearing are bad things and about Montgomery, and if all I'm hearing about it, because I like Montgomery. I mean, I can live anywhere I want to, but you know, now what will take me from Montgomery is a job, because I will leave because of a job, because the limited in my profession, radio, is limited jobs you can have. I mean, I've been looking for one now for 3 or 4 months, yeah, and you can't seem to get one. So in the radio, so that's what I do. Um, so I'll leave for a job, but that's the only reason why I will leave. I like the people. The people here are the people who are genuinely nice here are really genuine people. Okay, they don't have to agree with me on everything, but they really are good folks in the South. And regardless of our past, excuse me, regardless of your past here in Montgomery, Alabama, most people accept you for who you are. If they don't like you, they don't like you because you're a butthole. Okay, not because you're black, not because you're white, but because you're a butthole. Okay, and that's just what it is. What it is. Okay, and we don't have to like buttholes. We really don't. We don't have to like you because you're a pain in the absolute butt. We don't have to like you. But if we could ever get across this bridge of race in the state of Alabama, if we could ever get across it, and I know it's going to take, I think my generation, we have vestiges of it. I'm 68. I look good for it though. And so I don't really care about the whole race issue. I know what happened. Okay. I don't really, but anybody, who's that great historian, Dr. Black guy, wears glasses. He comes on the show every once in a while. And historian, he's Alabama's one of Alabama's greatest historians. He told me that they did a study at one of these colleges, Vanderbilt or someplace, and they found that people about 5 years ago who were under, so people are 60 years old and younger, don't really care about your race until you bring it up. Now those are 2 years older than me. 70-year-old people went through some things around here. I got you on both sides. Seven people who are 70 years old and up, they went through a couple of things around here. I understand their sentiment, and those that are older went through more. Okay, but I'm just telling you, when it's not that, it is not that city anymore. It's not, because again, when I hear shooting outside, when I hear cars going up and down the street, as a matter of fact, listen, let me get off this subject right quick. I don't know who sells these Hellcat cars. Okay, I don't know who sells these cars, but right on. I love them cars, but I couldn't drive one. But y'all, don't we have a racetrack in Montgomery someplace? I mean, do we really have to turn Atlanta Highway into a racetrack? I mean, do we really? Because see, a couple months ago, there was a big accident over here on Atlanta Highway. A couple of people were killed, I believe, and they were driving Hellcats. I believe that maybe we should charge people a whole lot of extra more insurance, because a young person and a fast car is headed for danger. So I think you ought to put at least. I know people want to buy them, because when I was young, I had one too, but I've probably been dead by now, because I like to go fast every once in a while too. Now I don't even want to get on the freeway. So I have metamorphosed to a scary driver. I don't trust nobody on the road behind me, in front of me, or on the side of me. So I just got to look all those ways. But we got, evidently we have turned Atlanta Highway into a Hellcat racetrack. How that happened, I don't know, but we need to, the police need to be out there on the weekend sometimes to stop some of that. But young people are always going to do what young people do. I'm not going to lie to you. I had a 1977 Duster. Okay. Yeah. 1977 Duster. Now, this is 1970, 1970. Well, no, was it 77? I think it was like a 72 Duster. Yeah, 72 Duster, because I got it in 75. So it was a 72 Duster, and I wore that thing out. I mean, I would jump curbs and all kind of things, and it just died on me going down the street one day. So we all do when we're young, we do dumb things. That is why we have older people in charge of things. So I'm done. Hopefully, I don't have to bring this thing up anymore about crime. But now, according to the mayor, in the last 6 months, violent crime in the city of Montgomery has gone down more than 28%, according to the mayor. While the mayor says that this is a step in the right direction, I can't argue with that statement. It is. Too often we are seeing the same violent repeat offenders on bond and arrested again and again days later. The mayor says these offenders are most dangerous people in the community, and bail bondsmen need to be regulated. Well, I know, and I understand that. But we do have a constitution. Okay. You act as if race is not important. When's the last time you invited a non-person of color to your house? All the time. I don't cook. Not a restaurant, because I don't like restaurants anymore. We all meet someone perhaps at Applebee's. Yeah, but I don't. As a matter of fact, most of my friends are white because I find myself, from a philosophical standpoint, not necessarily want to involve myself with the mass mental manipulation that Black folks have been put under when it comes to this Democratic thing, this Democratic Party. It's a mindset that's going to keep you perpetually in ambiguity. In perpetualness, feeling like a victim. Okay, so most of my friends, are white. I don't. I got a couple Black friends, but not very many, because I just don't. The mass indoctrination of Black folks in America has just. And listen, I hear you. You may not like me for saying that, but that's just the way I feel about it. The mass indoctrination intellectually of Black folks, it just amazes me. We put ourselves in a position where we got no power. Do you know? Did you realize that a group of people who only claim to fame is they like the same sex have more political power than over 30 million Black people? Do you realize that? And you know why they have that power? Because nobody knows which party affiliation that they belong to. And so they want the vote of everybody who's willing to vote for them. Okay. So my issue has always been, I philosophically, I am just not made of that stuff. I think the Democrats are wrong sometimes, most of the time. I think the Republicans are wrong sometimes, but not all the time. I think that Democrats want to keep you. The philosophy is one that will always make you think you where you are because somebody else did something to you. I'm just sorry. That's my honest opinion. People thought I used to say that because I was on talk radio. No, I went to talk radio because that's what I believe. That's just what I believe. The people who have been successful are not the ones who keep believing that they are in perpetuity victims. Okay, victims. We all have had to put up with hard times in our lives. There's no getting around that. Everybody at some point has a tough time in their life, regardless of color. But to live forever in a mindset that you're a victim, I'm sorry, that's just not my. and I've been screwed, glued, and tattooed too, like everybody else has been. Okay, my life has not been made, it has not been an easy one, but it has been. Um, Bruce Lee had a saying. He says, "Don't pray for an easy life. Pray for the strength to live it." And I think that is a really good philosophy to have. Okay, I think that life is not always going to be easy for you, but you got to pray for the strength to make it. Because see, when I went to work on December the 2nd last year, and they said, "Well, you know, your time is up." I said, "Really?" And now I could have been angry about it, but you know what? Malcolm X said, the slave in the house says, when the house burned down, our house burned down. When it wasn't his, he never owned any part of that house. Well, when Cumulus said, you know, we're moving on, and you ain't the one, which is cool. So I thank them for the opportunity to have been there for 23 years and had 10 years behind that. So you just got to keep going. Sometimes you got to pick up your bag, you got to pack it up tight and hit the road. Put the rucksack on your back of life, and you got to get out there and keep hitting the road. And I'm doing it now. But I have moments sometimes where I kind of get, you kind of get down. You know, I haven't had to look for a job in 30 years. And you know, but I had a good time on the way. I had a good time getting here. But I'm not blaming anybody, because like I said the other day, the reason why people are not rich, most of us, is because we weren't willing to put in the work to get there. Me, we weren't willing to sacrifice the time. We wasn't willing to save up and the money. We wasn't willing to do that because we like living in the now. The reason why most of us are not further along than what we are is because of the person that looks back in the mirror. I mean, back in the mirror, like me. Okay, yeah, absolutely. I gotta, I gotta redo. But you know something? It's never too late. At Hope Inspired Ministries, which is where I'm on the board. They blessed me with being on the board. Hope Inspired Ministries, they'll take people anywhere, any place they are in their life. If they want to change it, we'll help change you. Okay, we'll take anybody. So if you're out there, matter of fact, I'm also put in a plug for them. If you're out there and you are down and out, you think the world is against you, which a lot of times it is, but that's okay. If Hope Inspired Ministries is an organization, it's a nonprofit organization here in Montgomery that will take you, and if you haven't had a job, if you've never had a job, they'll teach you how to get a job, and they'll teach you to get a job if you're willing to put in the work. And therein lies the big thing here. Are you willing to put in the work? Okay, now let me put this. Okay, here we are, right at Hope Inspired Ministry. Because I am on the board. They needed somebody to help out, so I said, okay, they really blessed me to be on the board. As a matter of fact, not only we need people over there that will um, that will help other people who find themselves in a position where they want to give up. And that is not what we want to do. Okay, that's not what we want to do. We want to. Let me see. I'll show you the organization here, and I'll let you really give them a call. They need, and what they do is we share a meal, at least one meal a day. Some of these people, some of these folks do not have. Some of these folks do not have don't get a meal. Okay, they just don't get a meal, and so what Hope Inspired Ministry does, they reach out to you. If you show up, they reach out to you and they help you along your way. If you don't have transportation, they will give you transportation. If you we'll give you a bus pass so you can go look for jobs. You'll get at least one meal a day, and we ask people to donate those meals. Okay, so I'm just telling you, and if you can help, somehow, we really would appreciate you guys coming. And we got. So we're in a couple of counties. We're in Montgomery. Let's see. We're in Montgomery. We're in Birmingham. We're in Lowndes County. We're all over the place, as a matter of fact. So let me just show you how you can reach out. We have a couple of places. We got the Birmingham campus, which is located in Birmingham, of course. We have the Department of Youth Services, which is on Mount Meigs here in Montgomery, near Montgomery. The Montgomery County Detention Facility for men and women. And we're at Lowndes County campus. We're at the Foundry. Yesterday, we had a graduation in Birmingham, Bibb County Correctional Facility. So if you got a child, you got a brother, if you know people who don't want to, who just give up sometimes, you might want to think about calling them. And that number is 649-4330. That's in Montgomery. That's 649-4330. If somebody wants to give up and they down and out, they got problems, whatever the case may be, Hope Inspired Ministry, and that's what they give. They give hope to those who don't seem to have hope sometimes. And that's what they do. Okay, so whether they live in Birmingham, Montgomery, the Foundry up in Bessemer, Lowndes County on Curve Drive, call this main number, 334, which is right here, 334-649-4330. And if it's not for you, then do it for somebody else. And if you have a story that you want to tell, show them that you may have once been down, but you didn't give up, and you kept on going, and you kept on going, and you kept on going. And even when you didn't feel like keep on going, you kept going on anyway. Those people over there need to hear you. They need to hear from you because they think sometimes you think you're in a place all by yourself. You think you're in a place all by yourself, and you're not. Everybody has had difficulties in their life. Even rich people have difficulties, but they need to hear. But when you're down and out, the one thing you don't really care about hearing is your hard time. Well, these people need to hear it. They need to hear it. So they're located at 145 Coliseum Boulevard, which is across the street from is that Vicky's the lunch place over there? I think it's what it's called. Or up the street from the store. What's the name of that store right there? That little shopping center right there. It's called whatever it's called. It's you can't miss it. It's 145. You can't miss it. It's a big. See the big blue fish on the wall right there. Okay, that means Christian. So what you do is you give them a call, 649-4330. And if nothing else, they can use somebody to volunteer for a meal. We appreciate it. I do it. I don't just ask people to do it. I do it myself. And we don't really care what you bring. Just bring enough for everybody to bring. It can be pizza. It can be Kentucky Fried Chicken. It could be whatever you want it to be. We just ask that you bring enough for everybody to eat, because some of those people, that's the only meal that they are going to see this day. So if you would, Hope Inspired Ministries, give them a call, 649-4330. If you can't afford a meal, but you can afford to go over there and dispense some wisdom, that's important too, because that's a meal. Giving people wisdom is a meal, and they need to hear it. Because I'm telling you, some of these people I met over there, they are almost ready to give up. And your words, once somebody comes over there and they know that you've been through the same thing they've been through, oh yeah, it's a whole new world right there. So you might want to do that. Okay. So if you can do that, let us know. And again, the number again is 649-4330. That's Hope Inspired Ministries. There are a lot of good organizations in this town, a lot of who help everybody. I know Karen Jones has an organization, and she gets out there and feeds people. I think QB Ray is involved with a I think it's called We Care or something like that. But oh yeah, and I found out information about yesterday. I found out information about the Live Free organization. Now I'll run that by you after I take a pause for the calls when we come back. But so y'all hold on. But anyway, Hope Inspired Woman, that number one more time, 649-4330. 649-4330. Please give them a call. Maybe a couple of your buddies get together. Y'all can share the expense and provide those folks with a meal. Because I'm telling you something, if that's the only meal you can look forward to each day, then they look forward to it, and we try to provide them with that meal. Okay, so if you would just give them a call, just if nothing else, give them a call. Say you heard about them. You heard about them on with me on the podcast, and we can. And if you get something, if you find something you can do, you'll do it. Okay, so I'm just give them a call, let them know that we're thinking about the people. Listen, we know everybody's going through hard economic times right now, so just do that. Okay, so we shall return uno momento right after this message. Got to pause for the calls, but when we come back, we will almost call it a morning. I've been having fun today. Nobody called me, but that's okay. I can live with that. I'm not used to talking all the time, but I can do it. Yeah, I can talk. I can talk for a long time, as a matter of fact. So we'll be back in a few minutes. So don't y'all go any place. All right? Don't go. I promise we'll be back. Right. In a little bit. So hold on. Change gonna come. We'll be back. Okay, we're back. I had to take care of some administrative duties there. So we are okay. We're good here. Good morning to all of you. I keep forgetting tell people to share and all that stuff. See, because I wasn't really interested in all the stuff that people do do podcasting for. But all you need to do is reach one person, and you change their lives. You don't have to change a million lives. You can change one, and that one will change somebody else's life. And that one will change somebody else's life, and so life goes on. Anyway, good morning, good afternoon. Afternoon, it's morning, right? It's morning, and the other things going on in the news. The Alabama Parole Board is putting new people on it, which I'm glad to hear that, because it doesn't make any sense. Okay, it doesn't make any sense to have a parole board and you don't put nobody on parole. Okay, It just don't make no sense of that happening. I think let me see if I can find Reverend Sankey. Let me see now, because I ain't heard of him in a long time either. Let me see now. Let me see. Let's see. Let me see here. Let me see if I can find him. I know he's someplace around here. Okay. Let me see if I can, because I know he's going to be glad that the parole board got some more people on it. Okay. We need to stop that. Okay. Uh, okay. All right. Let me see if I can get him on. Let me see if I can get him over there. I'm not sure. Oh yeah, there he is. Let's see if I can find him. Because I know what.
Hello,
Reverend Sankey, how you doing?
fine, and you?
I'm doing fine. Now I got you. I got you on my podcast live, so don't say nothing. You know, not nice.
Don't let me be on that now. Don't. Mm-mm.
That's what I'm saying. Now let me ask you. You know they put new people on the parole board. You know,
No, I heard somebody say they put somebody got 3 new ones.
I don't know if they got all 3 new ones, but they do have at least one guy who's a he's a some sort of sheriff deputy or something like that. And they don't have 3. I think that the woman is still there, Gertney or whatever her name is. But I just thought I'd let you know that thing, because we always because they got a parole board that won't let nobody go home.
I've been telling y'all that for the long, so I don't even worry about it anymore.
Yeah, I know, but I just thought I know you were worried about it for years, and so I just thought,
Well, I was concerned about it.
hmm
And you can put me on your care since you got me.
yeah,
I was worried about it. I try to tell the people about it. They put people that they're not gonna let nobody go home. So I mean, that's why they building the prison.
well,
So why y'all seem to be surprised and shocked about it?
that's what we need to put. We need to put crooks in prison, but we don't need to put everybody.
No, we're not talking about putting people in prison.
hmm
We talking about not letting people go
Right,
home.
right, yeah. And I don't understand that. They gave less. I think they gave less than 10% of the people that came up there. They gave them parole. I mean, that's crazy to me. Everybody ain't bad.
But you see, people like you, pillar the community with the influence, and you should tell me they're not gonna listen to you. Yes, if you had a gap with some of these people, but see, there's so much hatred among black folks that then the Latham used to say, people of my skin color and some white. Y'all could have got with Isaiah Sankey, was the president of the Montgomery County.
NAACP
But
now, yeah.
let me finish. Let me finish. He just got the NACP because the other people that had it that y'all was praising, they hijacked the NACP and they didn't do nothing for years.
Mm.
But when I was president of the NACP, I'm the one cleaning up the Alabama prison system. Go back to when President Carter was in there. I wrote 5 letters to the President Carter, 13 letters to the Justice Department at that time. If you think I'm lying, go down and talk to Miss Lejeune or Miss Finley. She'll tell you that's what I did. But a lot of folks don't know that. So I don't try to tell them anything. I went to Washington, D.C. and talked to the people, went to the Justice Department. And I wasn't president of no organization at that time because I had got beat up by law enforcement here in the state of Montgomery, Alabama, state of Alabama. And they come up and they clean it. Had a lot of white officers in there were doing what black folks are doing now. And she said in a meeting, I was shocked. She said, I remember Reverend Sankey when I was a lieutenant out there at state. She said, and he helped clean up the prison, and old people went to jail. She thought white folk went to jail. See, y'all don't know that, but you don't want to hear it. See, y'all could clean up the prison system, but y'all don't want to.
Well,
You was in a position.
but I always say, listen, the best thing, don't get involved in it.
Well, but that's easier said than done.
hmm
See, that's easier said than done. You were fortunate enough, but you got in some trouble too. But during that time, you had people had compassion and concern, a lot of times they allow people to get by with a lot of things, or they try to work with them. Back in the day, I remember they would let inmates come up there and work at the Capitol up there, and they could get out with good time. They used to work around the Capitol and keep it clean. Now these people work out in society, but they're not good enough to come home or allow them to come. You have some people been in there 25 and 30 years. I know how I know, because they call me. They pay for their own calls. I accept their call. It's some being killed in these prisons and jail right now, and y'all don't know nothing about it because they keep it a secret. You didn't know that, did you?
Well, I know we've had too many people killed in the prisons. I don't know.
You had some killed in the county jail, but they covered up. But that's your buddy, and they are lied and covered up. So see, you didn't want to call me. You shouldn't have called me, because see, my sure tell it like it is, and I'll tell it like it is. And whoever they got, look who they put on there. They put a sheriff on there. His job is to keep people in prison and jail, because that's where their money comes from. They're not going to just put an average person on there.
Well, evidently, this guy, I'll find out who he is and see if I can get him on and see what his philosophy.
Well, he ain't going to do it. Come on and carry the water for Kay Ivey. That's why she put him on there.
I mean, I don't know that, but I mean, you know.
Well, yes, look.
Yeah.
Like you talked about, what the lady name on the Public Safety Commission?
Oh, she's gone now.
Oh, she gone?
Because the president, Trump, put her on some organization in Washington.
Well, who the president over there now?
I don't know who the president. They don't do anything for us anyway, so I didn't even worry about who took her place.
That's right. I will elect to be an oligarch. So you know why he put her on there?
You're talking about Twinkle Kavanaugh.
Yeah, but do you know why he put it on there? Why do you think he put it on there?
Maybe she can
No,
make.
you can't say. This is your own show, right?
Yeah, I can say.
You don't have to be afraid now, right? They can't fire you from your own show, can they?
Wait a minute, I wasn't afraid then.
No. They can't. He put on that call. She's like him. She gonna carry the water for him. That's why he.
Well,
I told you. See, you shouldn't have called me, because I'm gonna tell it like it is.
I realized though she did not really help the poor folks with Alabama Power. I mean, last year they went up on their rates 3 times in 1 year, and that was a shame. And I don't know what you're gonna do. You got to decide either pay the electric bill or pay the get you some groceries. It's a hard choice.
And about it, if you would have got together and organized like the people that are organized out there in different cities now, in different states, against what's going on. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But you won't get with nobody. You Clifford now is out there protesting out there on you ought to go out there and interview him out there at the juvenile place. He's the victim about some money. It started in 2017. So he went back and put up some signs. They gave him his money on the 26th, on his birthday of June, which mine was the 3rd of June. And he back out there and I got some big signs out there. You ought to go out there and interview her.
Well, I talked to him last night, as a matter of fact. But
you did?
And I'm still trying to figure out what he protested.
He protested because they don't give him his money. He's a victim.
Right, but
they won't make the woman pay him his money. And they told him his money would be there on his birthday.
Right.
He said stay down there from 1 o'clock to 3 o'clock, and they wouldn't come out and tell him. And when he went in there, the judge had an attitude toward him, also the prosecutor.
Yeah.
Because and the woman wasn't there.
But she ain't got
her son wasn't there.
She don't have no money.
She have money. She works.
I don't think she.
They gave her 3 or 4 months to save up the money. If I tell you what, you go down there and they tell you gotta pay somebody, you don't pay the money. You think you gonna walk around out there?
Well, I'm me. They won't do nothing to me.
No. I'm saying, or anybody else.
Well, of course.
You think they gonna let them walk around, or they gonna put them in jail?
But if the person who owes you don't have money, what you
They,
gonna do?
look, and a lot of people don't have money. They in jail.
But we're not on civil issues.
Yes, they do. They in jail now.
Mm. Well, I didn't know people went to jail on civil issues. I thought they just
Yes,
took everything you
yes,
got.
they go to jail.
Yeah.
Or
Well.
they'll take something. They take their property,
Hmm.
their car. They'll garnish him.
Yeah.
So y'all trying to make an excuse for you let him be. He the victim.
Yeah. Well, I
So
know.
he only doing what he can do.
Yeah. Well, again, though, I mean, if you can't get blood from a turnip, if the lady don't have any
Yeah, well,
no
but she
money.
had enough time. She had 3 years, 3 or 4 years to pay him to live money like $300 or something.
Yeah.
Now he say he want punitive damages. He want $125 now. $125.
I understand.
I know 125. What is it? What is it? $2,500? He want all of it now, according to what the law said.
Right. Right. I know. Again, though, the law can't give you money if you don't have it.
Well, that's why he protesting against them. And if they can't do their job, they don't need their job down there.
Mm.
They should let everybody go there.
Yeah. All right. Well, anyway, I was just calling you to let you know that they did, but I'll find out their names and give them to you.
Yeah, somebody told me about they put somebody. That don't
Yeah. Well,
bother me.
I hope it changes things.
It ain't not gonna change. How you gonna change anything? She not gonna put nobody on there gonna change. She gonna put somebody on there just like her. When she appoint these people to these positions, white or black,
Mm-hmm.
she point them on because they have the same attitude that she have.
Well, I would hope.
I don't care if they'll have been Republican and turn Democrat or Democrat turn Republican.
Mm-hmm.
They gonna carry water for her.
Well, let's hope not.
Oh man, go on with that. That's why I don't be bothered with y'all. Y'all going back to that same old stuff y'all been doing for the last 25 or 30 years.
I was making sure you were still alive, Reverend Sankey, so I made sure I had to call you so people can hear your voice.
Well, I'm still here. Go out there and talk to Clifford.
All right, appreciate it. Anyway, see, we judge the man before he even gets in office. Good, but that's okay. Anyway, if you want to give us a call, you can do that 521-2963. Let me see, 99. Well, he got 99 votes, but he got like 99 more than I ever got, so I can't complain. At least he got somebody to vote for him. I haven't got anybody to vote for me yet, but I may just have to run for office one of these days because they don't. They're not doing it. They're not doing it right. Anyway, it's 8:53 in the morning. Oh, so now next week we're gonna start this at 8 to 10. I'm not getting up at 6 o'clock anymore. We ain't gonna do that. So next week, 8 to 10. So that's a good time. People up, you can call, and then you can call people on the phone like I just did and get them on the air. Anyway, I hope this day finds everybody well. Somebody needs to just tell the mayor that we might need to revise that 28% thing. We may need to revise that 28% drop in crime because it's still here. But I ain't mad at it. Oh, another thing too. Tomorrow I'm gonna try a little bit to talk about that. When the president signed that bill on the 4th of July, a lot of people were whining and whining and whining. Especially the stuff I saw on TikTok and Facebook about what was actually going to happen had no semblance of truth. So I am going to tell you, at least from the few things I learned, actually what's going on. They say millions going to be dropped off Medicaid. Well, okay. Well, and that may be so, but they're not going to do it all in one day. One of the things they're going to require you to do on Medicaid, I believe, is get a job if you can work so you can help pay for some of that stuff. Okay. So I'm just saying, but those are just Democrats whining on the thing. I ain't mad at them. But however, though, I do believe that the state of Alabama, should expand Medicaid to be able to take care of more people, maybe not for the same length of time, but at least be able to save some people's lives by giving them access to medical care. I do. Is medical care a right? Well, that's a whole different discussion. Do you have a right to medical care for the government to pay for it? That is that's the only people I know got a right to it are the ones who served this nation and went in harm's way and became ill or hurt. I think they got a right to it because they were GIs. Um, but Social Security and stuff. I don't know. That's a tough question. Do you have a right to medical care? That is, you have a responsibility to get it, but do you have a right to it? That's a $20 million question that somebody needs to answer. It's getting medical care a right? We'll talk a little bit about that, about the Medicaid bill and stuff like that, and all the lies that they told over the weekend about what it is and what it isn't. Okay. And a lot of people, they're just lying. Here's what I want to do. I want a law passed that if you knowingly print something that's a lie, you can face some punitive damages. We got a right to free speech, but not irresponsible speech. That's why you can't go in the theater and say there's a fire when there isn't one. Okay. Yes, free speech comes with responsibility, but the things that I heard this weekend on news and the internet were just absolutely outrageous. I mean, my Lord. But anyway, we'll get back to that tomorrow, hopefully a little bit. Don't forget, starting next week, from 8 to 10. That's how we're going to do this. We're not gonna be getting up at 6 o'clock now. No, that's too early. Okay, I'm going to have to retire one of these days, but no time soon, unless I have to. No time soon. All right. So tomorrow, Medicaid, true or false, what they have said, and other topics. Okay. So don't y'all go no place. We appreciate you being here with us this morning. Big C, appreciate you. And Gary, good morning to you. Dr. Joe. And we'll be back tomorrow. Because I may come back on later this afternoon if I don't have nothing to do. We'll see. I don't think so, though. One day's enough for me, but I will play this over again later on. So y'all just hang loose. Thank you for joining. And got any complaints? Well, sorry. We'll be back tomorrow. The good Lord says the same. Have a great day. And remember, it's always a good day to be on top of the ground rather than the ground being on top of you. Have a pleasant, prosperous day. And remember, it ain't the falling that gives you the strength. It's the getting up every time you do.